Hello everybody. Now be aware, this contains British TV from the 70s, 80s and 90s. I thought I'd just imagined half of this as a kid watching repeats at night in the 90s. I didn't. It's actually worse than I remembered. And yes, I'm well aware this is going to get buried by YouTube for what it contains. So any upvotes or comments would be appreciated. But I wanted to just remind you of what television used to be like, because this is the nasty side of British television.
Got you! What are you doing? What are you doing? Caught you red-handed with your black paw in the till, you pilfering packy!
It's only going to get worse, so, you know, final warning.
Please, you're making a big mistake. Yes, that's what they all say. You're making a mistake, my little chocolate drop. Bert!
I am the new owner.
Oh, no, not another eggnog.
Please, I am no Nignak. I am Pakistani. Different color altogether.
You're all the same to me, Sabu.
So yes, I've started with Love Thy Neighbour because most people either remember this one or have heard of it. And I indeed remember watching this repeated on UKGold in the 1990s, but I didn't remember it being quite this racist. It ran from 1972 until 1979, the final series being in Australia only. But this isn't just what this video is about, because I had other memories, more modern ones, of things happening on 90s television, not just repeats from the 70s and 80s, and indeed, I found this.
If you'd like to look at that monitor there, I've got a question for you. The question is, whose bottom is this? Right, is that yours then? Yes, because Lisa, you put people through it for 2 series now. Well, we've had a hidden camera in your toilet on Tuesday night, Wednesday night and Thursday night. And me and your boyfriend have been making excuses to come round to your house to go to the toilet, and in fact, all we were doing was turning the machines on, turning them off, changing the tapes, getting that feast of action.
This is the time that Chris Evans thought it would be funny to hide a camera in a woman's private bathroom, film the bathroom for several days, and then broadcast the highlights on national television to the applause of the audience. Yeah, try doing something like that now. This, for me, sums up the 1990s as I remember it. A nasty-edged lads culture, punching down jokes, and things that would get you arrested. Evans also did things like weighing girls to see if they were light enough to be considered hot, and measuring the size of their breasts live on television. This sort of nonsense still bleeds through to the modern day with idiot influencers trying to tell you how to be an alpha male. And this is surely what it would look like. It's just 1990s Chris Evans. They're just trying to be Chris Evans. He's already completed it, mate. Crime Watch UK, which was broadcast from the 1980s until relatively recently, is a goldmine for this sort of thing. Take this description of a witness that I found, for example.
Very important witnesses, and I do ask them, if they see this programme or people know them, ask them to come and contact us at Southall Police Station.
Could we have your description of them?
There was 2 men, aged about 30 years. We have not a lot more description. They were just about 5'8" average, but with them was the coloured girl. She's a half-caste, but very attractive with an afro-style hair, and I feel sure she would have stood out in the bar and public house.
Half-caste but attractive? What do you mean, mate? While making this video, I've had to filter down these clips from so many that I found that I could make a whole series of videos on this.
Yes. Where is linseed? Come here, linseed.
Linseed oil, what
Linseed.
A good idea.
Come here. Turn around, look at the ladies and gentlemen. Now, you see this young lady, sir? She wishes that she could help you with one of your paintings.
Good idea.
Do you think I may leave her in your charge?
Safely leave her in my capable hands here.
Right.
I'll just roll my sleeves up in case I get some
back in a
scum on.
minute. Back in a minute. Off you go.
Why not put down in the comments anything that you remember from old television so I can dig it out of the archives and remind people of it? Next, we're going to go to Spike Milligan, because of course we are. And while you've seen some of these clips so far, imagine a show so bad that after the pilot episode, the TV station actually decided not to broadcast the rest of it. Well, that would be The Melting Pot. It's essentially just Spike Milligan and John Bird blacked up, making punching down jokes about ethnic minorities. This show actually goes one step beyond Love Thy Neighbour, in that it regularly features the full N-word.
Stop that wog! You bugger! Kill my nigger!
In 2013, a BBC report showed that a significant proportion of viewers agreed with the racist opinions and views in these shows, and the audiences for these were massive, sometimes up to 20 million people. Imagine being an ethnic minority child at school the next day. You wouldn't stand a chance. Next up, racist and homophobic bigot Jim Davidson, and I'm not going to show any of his racist clips, because I found this, and it's much funnier watching this moron think that women wee out of their vaginas.
A virgin having a wee. Married woman. Prostitute.
Another thing that I forgot from the 80s and 90s was that how as a country we had a debate whether the only people we should be allowed to beat up should be children. Not just in the home, of course, in the school as well. And there were a fair few people that seemed to enjoy inflicting violence on children.
Use of corporal punishment. Are you in favour of this?
Yes, now and again I think it does wonders.
Can we have a show of hands? How many of you have never, ever hit your children? Thank you.
Well, strangely enough, belting works.
It makes a good child better.
It hurts me more than it does them, I'm sure. But they have a little weep and then they're quiet and they sleep, and next morning it's all forgotten.
Are you sure it's all forgotten the next morning?
Well, they don't seem to. They never mention it. They never seem to.
Well, even if it isn't, so what?
All right, Fred and Rose, calm down. The black and white minstrel show, which ran from 1958 to 1978 and then till 1990 as a stage show, is quite something to behold. And even in between the blackface, there was this.
Thank you very much indeed. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Black and White Minstrel Show.
To be sure, sir. That's a lovely bit of singing that was.
Why, it's Murphy.
It is myself that said it.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, sir. Fine indeed, sir.
And did you like the minstrel singing?
To be sure I did that, but
And sadly, there's so much more that we can't cover in this video, but give this an upvote and I'll start making a traumatizing series of them.
Greetings, honourable viewers. For the last time, I am craving your attention.
And finally, a bit of light entertainment for you. Who doesn't remember swimming pool and cocaine enthusiast Michael Barrymore? Well, I didn't remember this.
One piece that you'll never take away.